So let's say we wanted to compute 8 and 38 hundredths minus 4 and 54 hundredths. See if you can pause this video and figure it out on your own. So there are multiple strategies for doing this. I'll tell you the way that my head likes to do this. I would view this as the same thing as 8 and 38 hundredths. And then I would subtract 4 and 38 hundredths. The reason why I pick 38 hundredths is that will cancel out. It'll take away these 38 hundredths. And then I still have to subtract a little bit more. If I already subtract 38 hundredths, well, I have to subtract a total of 54 hundredths. So let's see, 54 is how much more than 38? And I am doing this in my head as I speak. Let's see, to go from 38 to 48, I need 6, and I need 10 more. So I need to subtract another 16. I need to subtract another 16 hundredths. And how did I think about that? Well, 54 is 38 and 16. So if I'm subtracting 54, I could break that up. I could subtract 38 hundredths, and then I could subtract 16 hundredths. Why did I pick 38 hundredths? Because it matches up with this. And so if I say 8 minus 4 is going to be 4, and then I have 38 hundredths minus 38 hundredths. Well, those are just going to cancel out with each other. So this minus that is just going to be 4. And then I say 4 minus 16 hundredths. So how do we think about that? Well, you might be able to do this in your head at this point. You might say, okay, well, I have to go 16 hundredths less than 4. That's going to be 3 and 84 hundredths. Or you might want to just break it up. You could say, okay, 4 is the same thing as 3 plus 100 hundredths. And then I want to take away minus 16 hundredths. Well, 100 minus 16 is 84. So this is going to be, this part right over here is 84 hundredths. I'll write it out. Hundredths, which I can write as 0.84. And 3 plus 0.84, well, that's going to be, this is going to be equal to, and we figured it out already multiple times, 3 and 84. 3 and 84 hundredths. Now, as I said, there's multiple ways that we can try to tackle this. For example, another way that I could do this one right over here is I could say, all right, let me do the ones. So I'd say 8 minus 4, 8 minus 4, plus, let me try to do the tenths. So I could have 3 tenths minus 5 tenths, 0.3 minus 0.5, and then I would have the hundredths. So 8 hundredths minus 4 hundredths. So plus 8 hundredths minus 4 hundredths. Now this is pretty easy to compute. This is pretty easy to compute, but what about this? I don't have 5 tenths to take away. Well, what I could do is, instead of having an 8 here, I could take 1 away from it and make that a 7. And so I have 1 that I can regroup someplace over here. I can reorganize it. So I could do this as 7 plus 10 tenths. And so I can take those 10 tenths. I could take those 10 tenths and add them right over here. So let me rewrite this. I could rewrite this as 7 minus 4 plus 10 tenths plus 3 tenths. And let me just write it all as plus 3 tenths. I'm mixing different ways of writing it this way, but that might be good. Minus 5 tenths. And then this part I could just compute. This is plus 4 hundredths. Plus 0.0, let me do that color. Plus 4 hundredths. This is right here is going to be 4 hundredths. Now what is this going to be? 7 minus 4 is going to be 3. 10 tenths plus 3 tenths. Let me just the right color. So this is going to be 3. And then 10 tenths plus 3 tenths is 13 tenths. Minus 5 tenths is 8 tenths. And then I have 4 hundredths. So once again, 3.84. 3 ones, 8 tenths, 4 hundredths, or 3 and 84 hundredths.